Good day and welcome to the May episode of our playlist, What Are We Growing This Month? Yeah, May is a quieter month for us, sowing wise. March and April are really busy because we like to try and get ahead of things. But May is a quieter month, though there's still plenty to do. And of course, there's still plenty of plants that have formed from the sowings we did in February, March and April that need to go outside and into the ground. So even though it's a quieter sowing month, there's a lot to actually plant out this month. That is significantly going to be beans and tomatoes. None of our beans which we mentioned last month have actually germinated yet, though I'm expecting to see them in another day or so. So certainly this week, or by this weekend rather. For the tomatoes, we've had a significant amount of challenges germinating tomatoes this year. However, we now have some nice beefsteak ones and also our wonderful Amish paste, which we adore, which have germinated well. And I think we now have about 40 plants of about 6 different varieties, or 40 seedlings of 6 different varieties. They're going to be potted on quite soon and grow in a pot for about a month, and then we'll most probably be planting those out either the very end of May or early in June. So what are we sowing this month? Well, there are still things to sow. I have 3, 6, 10 packets of seed in front of me, which is a great difference to the sort of bag full of about 30, 40 different seeds that we were sowing last month. One of the things I'm really looking forward to having a go at this year, because I've never been successful with it before, is a really long growing vegetable, and it is purple sprouting broccoli. This is a packet that we were given. It's got 2 varieties in it. Yeah, they're in separate packets, 2 varieties in there. It's called Continuity Mix, and the reason it's called that is because one of the varieties actually produces earlier than the other variety. So what we have in here is Red Arrow and Rudolph, so I'm looking forward to those. Our plot neighbours this year have done so well with their purple sprouting broccoli. It was amazing, absolutely glorious. And Vivi, of course, always does well with hers, so I'll be getting a few tips from her. Staying on brassicas, Greyhound. Our Hispy cabbage that we sowed a couple of months ago came on well, was put out young, as you may see. I've seen we're doing a trial of putting brassica plants out younger into the soil. Not quite sure it's working for us at the moment, but hey, that's the point of the trial, isn't it? But this is Cabbage Greyhound. It grows quite fast, so we're going to be sowing this really in the next couple of days because I'd like to get it in the ground quite soon. It's going to be replacing, I think, our broccoli rabe, which hasn't done well again. It's bolted and gone to flower only about 8 inches high, and it's already bolted. We're not going to be doing broccoli rabe again, though somebody did suggest maybe we should sow it in the later months, like in August, September, when it's slightly cooler. So we might give that a go because we still have a few seeds left. In fact, I must remember to move my packet of seeds into August. Last year we did this Swede from the Heritage Seed Library, Gull Svensk. They will be direct sown. So these are going to be modular sown. No, they're going to be sown in seed trays, both of these. This is going to be sown direct in a drill in the ground outside. Beetroot. We've got a lot of beetroot coming up, but we do like beetroot. I've got this one, Moneta, which is a National Trust seed, and we're going to be sowing that out. So that's beetroot, again, direct sown. Next to it will be turnip snowball. We love turnips, and the turnips that we sowed with our peas have not done too well. I'm not quite sure whether it was the compost that we got from Ealing riding stables. Maybe it was too rich for the direct sowing. I'm not sure. But other beetroot seeds that we have done in the same compost, but it may have been from a different area of the heap, they are doing okay. So yeah, not sure. So we're going to be sowing some turnip snowball. Love it. At the moment, the turnip was it Tokyo Market that we sowed in modules in January, I think it was, are about the size of I was going to say a small golf ball, but all golf balls are the same size, so that makes no sense whatsoever. The size of a gobstopper, let's say. So they're doing okay. Not grown them like that as a modular sowing before, but they seem to be doing well. Fingers crossed. Next we have radish, and this is sparkler. It did well for us last year, and that is going to be going in direct again into the soil. Now, like the turnips, the radish that we sowed in our pea bed have not done well. Some of them were dug up by Fenella the fox, so that doesn't help, does it? But B, I think there was an awful lot of nitrogen which it didn't like in the Ealing riding stables compost, because some of the leaves went quite yellow early on. So hopefully this rain will help, because that will sort of wash some of the nutrients down. And we're going to sow this into a bed which has done really well for beetroot. So fingers crossed on that. Then my final 4 seeds. Oh no, there's one other. There's one other I don't have here. I'm going to come on to that straight away. We didn't have any butternut squash. I don't know why. I thought I had some, but couldn't find any. So we are going to be sowing literally today, the 1st of May. We're going to be sowing Hunter F1. Now, I don't normally grow Hunter F1. I don't normally grow F1 varieties because they won't come true in other years. But we're not going to be saving seed from these squash, because squash, as you know, cross-pollinate very, very happily and readily. So I'm growing Hunter F1 rather than Waltham Butternut, which is one that we normally grow. Last year we had no butternuts whatsoever. I think we had 2 that came to about 2 or 3 inches and then just died off. Not quite sure why, but butternuts we adore. So Hunter F1 butternut, I'm doing that, but I don't have the seed here. It's actually in the shed because I was given it by another plot holder. So on to the last 4 seeds. Basil, just Neapolitan basil. I don't sow it too early because I find it gets eaten quite quickly by slugs and snails. Not being successful with it significantly, though I'm hoping that when I put it out beneath the tomatoes this year, it will do better. Chicory. This is Rossa di Trevisco. Chicory is absolutely lovely, and it makes a fantastic plant. Our plot neighbours have got chicory plants that they just leave to go to seed for the bees, and they make marvellous flowers, just absolutely lovely, fantastic plants. But we're going to be growing ours obviously to eat, because that's what we mainly do. These are going to be sown in May, but I don't expect to be able to harvest them until later in sort of like September, October time. And then we're going to be doing another sowing in, let's say, August, for much later in the year and early into next year. So again, once I've sowed these seeds, I'm going to move this packet, the remaining seeds in this packet, forward to August or September, so that when I get to August or September, I sow them. More parsley, giant of Italy, a successional sowing. We sow few of these, maybe only 5 or 6 seeds, and at the moment we've got 6 plants growing from 2 sowings we have already done, 3 from each. And then a final direct sowing is this lettuce salad bowl red and green mix, just bog standard, came with a Grow Your Own magazine. And that is going to be sown direct in a drill, just like the radish and the beetroot and the turnips. I've never direct sown lettuce. I've always sown it in a seed tray, then potted it on into modules, let that grow, and then put the lettuce out. So it'll be interesting to see how these direct sowings do. I know quite a lot of you do direct sowings of your salad leaves. I think one thing I need to make sure is that I do it quite thinly, because they can get a bit thick. And these are, I think one is an oak leaf and one is a frisee. So yeah, they're going to be quite intertwined if they're too thick. So that's it. That is what we are sowing from sort of fresh seed, if you like, this month. When we put our beans in, we will also be interplanting additional seeds that will give us a later crop of some of them. So we're going to be direct sowing some of them. The Rockencore and the Coco de Pampol that we sowed last month in April are already doing pretty well, particularly the Rockencore. That is well up. We've got about 11 up at the moment. And the Coco de Pampol, we have about 5. So I think there's maybe 16 to 20 in each of those rows. And what we've done is we've sowed them at the very edge of our edge beds, on the long edges of our edge beds, across 2 edge beds. So we've effectively sown 4.8 meters of Coco de Pampol and 4.8 meters of Rockencore. And then I've decided that what I'm going to plant in the middle of that bed, or those 2 beds, are our tomato plants. So I've made that decision. Beans are going to be going into grow bags for this year because of the vinyl that I mentioned earlier. And tomatoes are going to go into the bed. So we'll show you that when we're doing it. I'll also be doing a video showing some of the sowings that we're doing here direct. Yeah, and that's about it. Is there anything else that we will be interplanting? I don't think there's anything else. We might sow some more peas, though it's getting a bit late. If we've had poor germination twice on some of our peas, I'll try a 3rd sowing. In fact, I might get them in today. With this rain, it will have helped. I'll get them in today, and then they'll only be a couple of weeks behind the additional 2nd sowing that we did a few weeks ago. Because I do want to, what I don't want to do is I don't want to elongate the growing season in that bed too much. A few spare peas that we have, putting those in and getting a slightly later harvest from shorter plants will be okay. But I want other things to go into that bed. In fact, I think that bed is either going to be Brussels sprouts or it's going to be carrots, and I'm not sure which yet. What we will have coming out in, let's say, June is the peas, the garlic, and also the broad beans. So I'm already planning, like I was just saying, what I'm going to be putting into those beds once those harvests are sorted and the plants are out and in the compost. Right, that's it for our May sowings. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in June. June, July, August, September. All of the next months are certainly not going to be as busy as March and April was. But you know what? That's fine, because there's plenty of other things to do. And of course, we then have to look after our plants and our seedlings and make sure that they give us good harvests as much as we can. You know, I really looked after the butternut squash last year, but they just didn't want to do anything. Okay, see you next month for what we're sowing this month. That will be June. Bye.